we just left everything and off we went. People would say, so where is your mother house? We said, we don't have any. Where is this? We said, we don't have that either. So who are you? And so we were said, then you would tell, your story.
I really and truly believe that the Spirit led us to take the risk and have the courage, because when we think back, we wonder ourselves, how it all came about.
When we had left to form this community, we had nothing, and we didn't even have a name. And that was a moment of knowing that what we did have was the Lord, and we had each other.
We toyed with a number of names, some alluding to our former community, some totally different, but somehow the idea of servanthood and service and ministry was foremost in our minds at the time.
And it was several weeks later that one of the Felicians asked us if we had access to the letters of the foundress, Mother Angela, who was the foundress of the Felicians in Poland. And in 1855, she wrote a letter to the community, which at that time had to be dispersed for political reasons. And in this letter, she said to them, we will not be together anymore during this time, but there is one thing that we all have in common, and that is that we are all servants of Jesus.
We knew we needed some rules, and we needed some goals, and we needed something to bind us together. So we did some writing and some thinking and some praying and some discerning.
And then we had 1 week away at Traverse City that we all attended, and that's where we hammered out our mission statement. And the joy that came and the realization that this is it, this is who we are, this is where we want to go.
But I am most proud of the fact that we could really describe who we are from the perspective of our lived experience. And we waited until we had the experience, could dialogue with each other about it before we put it down on paper and accepted it as our own.
And we were fortunate enough to have other larger communities support us. We had the support of the local church in the Detroit area, Cardinal Dearden, and the local church authorities. And so we just continued on our journey and led us to where we are today.
My understanding and experience of being a servant over the last 30 years hasn't changed. I think it has intensified. I think that by doing what we're doing and being very conscious of what we're doing and how we're doing it and for whom we're doing it, I think it really has made us to really blossom and to grow.
When I first joined the community, I knew about Jesus through scripture, through classes that we had. And over the years, when I came to know Jesus, to know him as a person, then his whole person of servanthood became a part of my life, not just something that I knew, but something that I was.
Many years ago, when we were writing our mission statement, some of our sisters took exception to the term living the gospel in a radical way. And we really never dropped the words, and I'm not sure that we really understood at the time what we were saying. But over the years, we have come to understand them more and to grow into them.
The idea of servant has deepened in every one of us, for all of us to see the ministry of servanthood in what we do, even though it looks different in almost every case, is still meaningful, and certainly evidence of the fact that we have grown in our understanding of what it means to be servant.
Without a doubt, the Vatican Council just made me so much more aware of my obligation but my privilege as a woman of the church to be able to immerse myself in the work of the church.
The founding of the community by the sisters themselves, working with the experience that they had had as former religious, but also with the experience they had had of the church in renewal, was, to me, the ideal situation.
Okay, for me, being an associate, I suppose allows me, as a married woman with a family, to participate in the life of this religious community to the degree that I am able to. I definitely support the mission and the vision of the sisters, and would love to live it out in the way that I am able to in my family situation.
Years ago, I entertained a religious vocation myself, but through circumstances and that I had to go different ways. So they're kind of renewing the fervor that I had years ago.
When I became a servant of Jesus, I developed a new zest for life. I felt that my life was like a new spiritual revolution. I did not find it to be such a struggle.
They just welcome me, and they have so much love and compassion. And you could see in them, in the many years that they've served Jesus, I don't know how to put this to words, but there was a service there and a love and a depth to their commitment to their faith. And that was something that I just wanted in my faith and wanted in my life.
Over the last 2 years, watching 2 of our sisters go to the Lord, just having the sisters minister to them, being with them full time, around the clock, they always had somebody there to take care of them. And I'm just so proud of our community that we pitch in and we take care of each other no matter what the circumstance. We're there for each other. It's such a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be a part of this group.
One of the best things about the servants is their love for prayer, their love for ministry, and in all of that, the enjoyment we have one for the other when we're together, looking forward to the days that we are together. And we do provide opportunities to have fun and get even more enjoyment out of each other's company.
I don't think there are many communities that have the opportunity where all the members come together regularly and we thrash things out and we laugh and we cry and we talk. That is a gift to any community, and I really do cherish that, and I love that about our community.
There were 5 of us that were not members of the Servants of Jesus, and we had asked to be accepted among them. And to this day, I can still visualize the room where they voted unanimously to accept us. That was my birthday. It was the most exciting thing. I'm sorry. It was the most exciting thing that could have happened to me.
I feel being a servant of Jesus means that I have a willingness to serve at all times, even sometimes when I don't feel like it. I associate it with an apron, having an apron on all the time and just being ready for service.
The joy of being sent forth by a body of extremely disciple-like individuals at the time of missioning made me aware that I was not going alone, that what I was doing was not in isolation, but together, all of us were building up the church on earth and serving, always serving the people of God.
Our goal has always been service to others, and I think we've never reneged on that promise.
The service that Jesus performed was one of enabling others, and so the service that Jesus has performed in my life is simply the fact that he has been a part of whatever I've been able to do.
He acts as a servant to me by showing me what I should be doing with my life, why he did the things he did, to allow me to do the things I ought to do.
I think of our prayer service in Traverse City where we had the washing of the feet, and Sister Liz Osdick sang the song, Jesus took a towel and he washed our feet. And this image is very strong in my mind of his compassion and a reminder to forgive those who don't love me.
If you are called to something that ordinarily would seem beyond yourself, that it is possible to make that a reality if you find kindred spirits who believe as you do.
My hope for the future is that every day we live the best that we can.
The idea of servanthood, service to others, living as Jesus lived and serving as Jesus did, and trying to lead a simple life and rub shoulders with the rest of humanity and help each other along the way, that would somehow remain in people's hearts and in their lives.
If we could be instruments of somebody else finding God as a servant of Jesus, then I would hope for that.
I hope that our charism of loving hospitality and acceptance of others, however they are, in whatever circumstance they are, I hope that charism will be carried out by someone in some identifiable way.
I think my greatest hope for the servants of Jesus is that we will always be in some form or fashion. I think it's exciting that we have associates with us now, that even though some of us may not be around, that hopefully they will continue on our mission and our work.
Continuing to enable everyone to live their baptismal call. And how that's going to look, I have no idea. But as long as we're doing that work of enabling every Christian, every human being to be the best that they are in service to the needs of the world, we will continue.
My hope is that the servants of Jesus continue growing in their faith, their hope, and their love, and continue growing in membership too, because I think we have a great gift to give the church.